All right, this is Gaius Bowling from JoBlo.com. How you doing today, Richard?
Great. Very nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. I was, I think, 5 or 10 minutes into your movie, and the first thought I had was like, "This is like right up my alley. This is my wheelhouse." Like, I dug the humor in it. Like, just your writing and just the dialogue and everything, just so strong and really biting and really funny. So I just want to let you know how good that was on my end, at least for me.
I mean, you couldn't say anything nicer, right? Um, Thank you.
Oh, no, no problem. I wanted to know, like, how did you come up with the concept for like the film itself?
Well, here, let me make sure I'm getting reception. Are you getting me through here?
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool. Yeah. So the concept, I knew I wanted to make something kind of light and happy, and I didn't know what. And I was sent this script, a good script. It was a good script. It was a horror film about witches, and the idea, they send you a script and say, what would you bring to it? And I started to kind of think about that and realized my approach would not be right for that movie. So I kind of politely moved on, and then I sort of figured out what a witch movie that I would write would look like, and I wrote this sort of movie. I love witches. I have a lot of friends who are witches, and the idea was sort of to show people that we're all the same. We're all searching for the answers, the same kinds of questions.
Right.
We're all flawed human beings, trying to be the best we can be type situation. I grew up in the South, where the idea of a witch, right, is sort of evil. And as I got to travel and move and meet witches, truly the nicest, some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. So that's really sort of what inspired the movie.
Nice. Yeah, I was.
And John will make them laugh.
Yeah. What struck me the most, I guess, too, is like the tone that you're able to kind of create with this could be kind of difficult for some films to do. Like, I think I was just mostly impressed with like you striking a balance between kind of being satirical and funny, but then also having a lot of heart and being endearing with it as well. I kind of point to the scene
Sure.
where Willow finds out, that he was really the most likely to succeed, that he was the prom king and stuff. Like the sincerity of it plays like almost like she found out he cheated on her. But then I'm like, when the way she's delivering the
Right.
lines, the absurdity of it is what kind of makes it funny. Like I was wondering how you kind of found that that kind of right balance between.
Well, we were leading you. We were leading you to think maybe he was right.
Right.
At first for the email. So, I have a sort of a drier sense of humor, right? And my sort of blanket thing for the entire cast. And in a movie like this, which was very cool, I negotiate all the contracts with the agents myself. When you direct a movie, you have control over a lot of things, but not necessarily everything. And in this instance, there's not a single person in a movie who I didn't want to be in it. So It's right there. That's amazing because there's just trust, right? And then, so my blanket sort of direction, and I've never done this before, but I sat the cast down and I said, from this point forward, none of you are in a comedy. I don't care how ridiculous the line of dialogue is. You're all acting in Sophie's Choice.
Right.
And they all got it. And we had so much fun with it. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of our shared kind of comedic sensibility. Low stakes is high stakes.
Right. I mean, I think that's what ultimately makes it so funny, because there is like, it feels like everyone's just playing it like serious. I mean, not too serious, but like there's no like implying like, oh, we're making something that's funny. It was like, it just felt very like natural. And so since it feels natural to them, you like kind of believe it and you buy into it, which is really made it fun.
Absolutely. Because with movies, right, you're taught, the stakes should be this gigantic thing. But when you're a person in your neighborhood living your life, the smallest thing to someone else can be the end of the world to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's kind of how we treated a lot of this stuff.
So like the high school reunion angle of it, was that any of that kind of like taken from like any personal experience that you might have had, or people that you know that might have had, like, you know, having to go back to their high school for their reunion and dealing with how much they have changed or how other people have changed in that span of time?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's certainly kind of inspired by elements from my life, right? You know, I make these sort of strange horror comedies, and I'm so happy and I'm so lucky that I get to do this kind of a specific thing. And it took me a while to sort of find that voice, or whatever the hell you want to call it. And I know growing up, you know, I was like the film guy, walking around school with a camera. I got the most likely to succeed superlative in high school for film, and everyone where I grew up, you're gonna make The Rock too, and you know, which is like such an exciting thing. And I'm sure it was this sort of going back home and people being like, you're making movies, you're making these kinds of movies. What is this? This is what you're doing? You know, like yeah, you know. So it was kind of a little bit inspired by that. How, you know, finding your own voice and your own sort of path in life isn't necessarily, you know, we're all constantly sort of evolving and discovering new things about ourselves, right?
Definitely. And you kind of touched on this a little bit about the cast, like, you know, everyone that you wanted, you handpicked and you got. I was wondering, what was it like to kind of bring them all together? And, you know, and I wonder, like, when they read it, did they automatically just get it? And that's why it probably worked so well.
Well, there's a little bit of handpicking, and then there's a lot of begging. You know, I do a lot of begging. I have no shame. But I knew, look, when you started with Goobs, who's, you know, one of my closest friends, I knew we have a shared comedic sensibility, so I knew he'd get it, right? And then I kind of, you know, I went through the characters, and a lot of these people I know or have worked with, or know people who have worked with, and I knew they kind of got it, right?
Right.
But you can never truly know until you all sit down with the script, and at that point it was as simple as sort of explaining, like I said, you know, no matter how ridiculous something reads on the page, it's deadly serious to you. Do not act like you're in a comedy. Right. And from that point forward, everyone really, you know, leaned into it. You know, I called Ray and I was like, Ray, you know, how am I going to convince Ray to come over and do this? They said, Ray, who on earth doesn't want to see you as Merlin? And Ray goes, you know something, Rick, I'd like to see that myself. And he showed up and he did it. It was just perfect. You know, like Ray is one of my heroes. Like, I love Ray. He's the best. So, and then Barbara, it was so cool. You know, I'm such a big fan of Barbara. Never had worked with her before. I called my friend Ted and he put us in touch, and Barbara was amazing. It was just, no one does a movie like this, you know. That's the cool thing about doing something sort of small and personal like this, is like no one says yes to it who really doesn't want to be there.
Either. Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
So there's no one complaining. Everyone is just down, you know? So, and that was my experience making it. I mean, I don't think I ever had as much fun making a movie.
Yeah, it was really cool to see. I mean, the whole ensemble was good. I just remember at one point I was watching it and it got to the whole like rock and like pine cone scene. And I was like, sounds like Aubrey Plaza. Is that Aubrey Plaza? And I had to like go look it up. And I was like, oh yeah, it is. That's hilarious. Like, just like these small little like things like that. That was just so cool to kind of hear. And like you got so many cool, really good people together, and like it just really works well for me. I mean, I got it, and I was like, I can't wait for like I can show my friends this movie too, because it's definitely in their wheelhouse with their sense of humor.
Thank you, man. Yeah, thank you, and please tell them to buy it because I need to make my money back.
No, definitely.
So that I can have a roof over my head, please.
Definitely, this is a business. No matter how much you love it, it's still like a business, and you still gotta make money.
I gotta justify being able to do something like this again, which is really the dream, you know.
Exactly. Well, I'm gonna wrap up here with you right now, but I just wanted to say again, congratulations on the film. It was really funny. I enjoyed it, and I will definitely be telling my friends to actually go and buy it. because I want to show.
Awesome. Thanks for saying all this nice stuff, man. I really appreciate it.
No, man,
really
it was
cool
no problem. I was like, the whole time I was watching, I was like grinning ear to ear. I was like, this is such my sense of humor. I love it. So yeah, it was great.
You could not make me happier, man. That's really cool.
Thank you so much, man. You have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time.
No problem. Take care.
We're so lucky to have found each other.
Luck had nothing to do with it.
To the great horned god.
And our dear mother goddess.
My name's Thorn, and I'm a witch.
Can I get an antiseptic wipe? You know how important it is to me to practice safe blood magic.
This is my life partner, Willow.
You've got 5 seconds to get off my lawn before I cut you up into communion wafers. Not too shabby for a couple outcasts.
And this is my coven.
We're not having a big fire this year.
Why? Just doesn't feel like Beltane without a big bonfire.
Light a candle. What on earth are they doing? They're making a statement.
This was the calm before the storm. Before my past finally caught up with me.
Who are you? Prom king, class president. Did you play sports?
Lacrosse.
This coven is built on a foundation of lies.
Banish him. Banish him! Banish him!
I'm going on a walkabout.
You're too old for a walkabout. You have weak ankles.
You forced me to face my past, and now I've got to deal with it.
Hello, son.
You told me your mother is dead.
Who's the broad?
I don't know what's gotten into me lately.
I'm here to help.
Pearl.
You're killing the mood.
I'm a work in progress!
Thornton Adams? What happened to you?
I went searching for happiness. And I found it.